Hi, everyone. Welcome to Start the Week with Spencer. This is our weekly webinar here at Doman International, where parents of children with special needs join from around the world and ask us their biggest questions, and we invite parents to bring their toughest questions. And so whether you're watching this right now on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, go ahead and type your questions into the comments box, and we will get to them a bit later in the webinar. Now, today is a day called Victory Day, where we share the results of children on the Doman Method program and the results that they've achieved during their appointments this month. And I always like to say that we don't cherry pick success stories. These are the parents who came to our clinic this month and volunteered for us to feature their children. We're first of all very appreciative of the parents who agreed to for us to share their children's stories, and we think it'll be very inspiring and instructional for everyone. So give me 1 second while I pull this up. Right. All right, Colleen, can you see the slideshow?
Yes, I see it.
All right. And can you see the Joshua slide now?
Yep, I see that.
Perfect. All right. So now we're beginning first with a boy named Joshua. And Joshua is 7 years old. And Joshua received a diagnosis as autism spectrum disorder level 3, which is a diagnosis given to children who are not yet verbal. Also diagnosed with an intellectual disability and also a pediatric feeding disorder. So Joshua had a lot of challenges when he started the Doman Method program. And he came for his first appointment 6 months ago. So he just came back for his second visit after 6 months and was reevaluated. So some of the achievements that parents reported this time is that he's recognizing and reading words. I'm going to show you a video of that in just a second. So he can select words, written words, when he's asked. He can also perform certain parts of the program pretty independently, like the ATNR patterning. And he's also attempting to speak, which is huge for a child who was diagnosed as nonverbal. He's also showing better comprehension, coordination, and emerging expressive language. I'm going to show you some videos of these things. Before the program, Joshua faced significant challenges in his communication, his cognition, and motor skills, and being I prefer to say not yet verbal. He was unable to say words. And his understanding of instructions were minimal, and he had very little independence in his daily tasks. His coordination and his body awareness were also underdeveloped. Since starting the Doman Method program 6 months ago, Joshua has made remarkable progress. He is now recognizing words displayed and can select the correct word when prompted. This is demonstrating early literacy skills and, of course, a lot of cognitive engagement. So I'm going to show you a video. Joshua's face has been blurred out just for anonymity reasons, but you'll get the idea of how far his reading has come.
Sit down. Yeah. Which one is corn? Yeah, well done. Which one is pepper? Yeah. Which one is eggplant? Well done. What about celery? Well done. Good job. Yay.
So, keep in mind, this was a child diagnosed with nonverbal autism, intellectual disability, and here he is at 7 years for the first time reading words. You can see he's very fast, very confident. Every time he's asked a question, boom, 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 he answers quickly. And I like to point that out because sometimes people who don't know, or even professionals who don't know children like Joshua well, will a child like him will answer something quickly, and they'll say, no, he didn't look enough. There's no way he could have answered that. It must have been a fluke. And you could see right there, that was no fluke. Like, this was a child who could read the words very quickly, probably faster than average 7-year-olds, and made very clear choices. So, Joshua is also performing ATNR patterning movements almost independently. I'm going to show that to you in a second. But parents sent an interesting video of Joshua trying to speak words. And again, keep in mind, this is a child who started the program considered nonverbal. And I love this video because it demonstrates how the Doman reading program can be helpful in motivating a child to talk. So what you're going to see is, as the family is doing the reading program, Joshua's going to try to say the words aloud. Now, keep in mind, this is a child who started the program unable to talk. So his speech is not clear, but you'll hear some of the words that he says are, you can relate them to the word that is being shown to him. But the far more important thing is that now he's motivated to talk.
Potato. What's this? Corn. What's this? Pepper. What's this? Eggplant. This one? Celery.
So those are difficult words for a child to say, but you could really hear as he was talking there. I think it's especially pepper. You could hear it was very similar to the word he was being shown. And this really shows the important connection between the Doman reading program and speech development, and how the reading program can help spur speech, even for a child who may not yet be very verbal. So now we're going to see a video of him doing his ATNR patterning program. And you're going to see a child who, when he started the program, had a lot of difficulty doing anything independently. He's now going to be showing his ATNR patterning, and he's doing it pretty much, 90% on his own.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And I'll let you watch that one more time. ATNR patterning is an important activity that we do with certain children with special needs. We have different kinds of patterning. ATNR patterning is one of various kinds, but it's very helpful because it helps the two hemispheres, the two sides of the brain, better work together. And so you'll see here, he's making different movements, but they include movements that cross the midline of his body. Movements that cross over the midline of the body, very good for getting those two hemispheres of the brain to communicate better. Now that you know what we're watching, I'll show it to you one more time.
9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And believe me, even for an average adult, learning how to do these movements on your own would be challenging, and coordinating them. And Joshua's doing it. He's also doing the Doman Method programs of hanging and brachiating to improve his fine motor skills. He's now riding his bike independently on varied terrain. He's walking on a balance beam, so he's able to maintain his balance while walking on a thin beam. I'm sorry. I moved on to the next child, Maggie, without finishing up Joshua. I'm sorry. So anyway, just wrapping up with Joshua, you can see the great improvements that Joshua made through his reading program and through his, ATNR program. And we really want to congratulate Joshua and his family. All right, moving on. Now we have Maggie. Maggie, like Joshua, is also 7 years of age. And Maggie began the program with a different diagnosis, with cerebral palsy, and was affected more on the right side than on the left. And Maggie's changes this period included doing hanging and brachiating with coordination, right? Which is very important for writing and, fine motor skills. She's riding her bike independently on varied terrain. She's walking on a balance beam. We'll see that in a video in a second. Maggie's speech really developed this period. She's talking in full sentences now, which is remarkable for a child who could not speak much when she started the program. She's also participating in family games and conversations now, and she's doing great. She is in a mainstream school class, and she is acing spelling tests and has greatly also matured this period, showing emotional regulation and independence. Before the program, she faced challenges with mobility coordination and physical independence, and she needed a lot of assistance, and her expressive language was really limited, along with her ability to participate in things socially. When she started the program, I remember parents really telling me social engagements or activities were very difficult for Maggie. It was hard for her to interact and control her behavior in public. Now she has greatly, greatly improved. So since starting the Doman program, she's made remarkable progress. She can now brachiate with proper coordination. And I think we've got a video here of her brachiating. Brachiating has been a part of the Doman method for decades. Very, very important for improving fine motor skills and writing.
Woohoo! Amazing, Max.
So you can imagine if you can cross a ladder like that, just holding yourself with your hands, the amount of strength you need to have in your hands and in your arms. That's going to be very, very important for fine motor skills like tying your shoes, writing with a pencil. She demonstrates better comprehension of instructions and emotional regulation. And as I said, she's now participating in family games. She's joining conversations. So really improved cognitive and social skills. Her speech now is remarkably better. She now has the ability to speak conversationally, where she can speak in full sentences and have, many more back and forth conversations with others. Here we're going to see a video of Maggie showing off her bike riding skills on very difficult terrain.
Oh, go Max.
She's the one in the front, by the way. Her siblings are behind her.
Can she do a full round? Keep going, Maggie. Keep going. Keep going. Pedal, 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 pedal. Pedal all the way up. All the way up. Well done.
And you can see there she's not just great at on the bike, she's getting to do different activities with her brother and sister outdoors. This is going to be Maggie walking on the balance beam, which is a part of her Doman balance program.
Now look where you're going. Wow.
And you can see her balance there is pretty amazing. She was even able to kind of jump off the balance beam confidently. Keep in mind, this is a child who was diagnosed with cerebral palsy before she started the program, a diagnosis which is often associated with being unable to walk. Most children with cerebral palsy never learn to run or let alone ride a bike or be coordinated. Maggie recently topped her mainstream school class spelling test, which is just an incredible academic achievement. And her progress reflects her perseverance and her independence and her enthusiasm for learning. So congratulations to Maggie and to her great family. Well, next we have Theo. Theo is 8 years of age. It's interesting. Most of the time when we do Victory Day, we have children who will have like 1-year-olds all the way to 30-year-olds. This week, we just seem to have a lot of 7 and 8-year-olds so far. But the average age of a child starting the Doman method is around 6 to 8 years. But of course, we do have much younger children who join our program and also adults as well. Theo has been on the Doman method for 6 months. So this was Theo's first visit back to Doman International. And Theo is following directions this period much better than before, riding a bike confidently, now doing some impressive things like performing a martial art called Muay Thai. Muay Thai is Thai kickboxing. It's considered one of the tougher martial arts. And Theo is also demonstrating in better attention, coordination, and engagement. Theo was given a diagnosis of ADHD and developmental delay before starting the Doman Method. So Theo faced challenges before the program with attention, coordination, and following instructions. He had difficulty with complex motor tasks, was really hesitant to try physical activities. I remember when Theo came for his first visit, he was very reluctant to try new things, which is contrasted with a child now doing Thai kickboxing is pretty impressive. Structured physical activities were not really possible at that time, and his communication and social engagement were very limited, and that really affected his confidence. Here we're going to see a video of Theo doing some kickboxing.
Too far away. Come closer. Yeah, again.
In understanding, Theo is now following directions clearly. You may not have been able to hear in the video, but the instructor told Theo at a certain point, Theo kicked, and the instructor said, come closer. And Theo listened, followed the instructions right away. Now Theo understands left and right, which is a concept which is very difficult for many children with special needs. As I said, he's now doing martial arts. Theo now is riding his bike confidently and really has better coordination and self-assurance. And Theo is demonstrating growing perseverance.
Oh my gosh.
Here you can see Theo bike riding. My favorite part of this video, I'm not sure if you could hear it, Mom goes, oh gosh. You can tell she's nervous that Theo's going to fall as he goes down the hill, but he doesn't. I'll play it one more time.
Oh my gosh.
He goes, oh gosh, oh no. But Theo does just fine. So Theo keeps impressing his family and the staff. So his ability really to apply these new physical and cognitive skills have all been made possible through the Doman program. And his progress has expanded his confidence and his desire to participate in social life, which is a great achievement for Theo. So congrats to Theo and to his family. All right, now we have Daniel. Daniel is 12 years old, so a bit older than the earlier children. And Daniel's diagnosis when he started the program was cerebral palsy, as well as a bunch of other diagnoses. So he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, developmental delay, ADD, spasticity, hemiplegic, quadriplegic, emotionally disturbed, and also brain injury. So he really started the program with many, many different diagnoses. In this period, in these 6 months, this child who has all of these diagnoses mastered some impressive things. Gymnastic skills like forward rolls, improved running, swimming, brachiation skills. Daniel, because of his age, a big part of his Doman program this period has been independence. So in this 6 months, he began making meals for himself. Think about how many boys his age can make meals for themselves. So he's done that. He's completing household chores independently. And his reading comprehension, math, life skills, time management, money handling, all of these things have greatly improved. This is very important because of Daniel's age, the main goal of his Doman Method program, of course, is to get him to the place where he can not just succeed in school, but also in a job and in independence in life. So that's where we and Mom are really focusing now. Before the program, he faced significant challenges. He needed a lot of assistance with a lot of physical activities, and his life skills in daily life were really, really limited. And his emotional regulation really affected his ability to persevere through things. He would sometimes shut down in social situations or when he had to do something because it was so difficult for him. So since starting the program, he has improved comprehension, no question. His understanding has greatly improved, his emotional regulation. This has allowed him to follow instructions more effectively and integrate different kinds of tasks.
We had a breakthrough. We had words and we had a breakthrough. Didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Sure.
I got really emotional, but anyway.
And now, there we go.
I'm over.
We got it. All right. You're gonna go and
Do your bed.
make your bed.
So he was proud because he achieved his forward roll, which was his first gymnastic skill that he learned this last period. And then mom just said, all right, what are you going to go do now? And he said, make his bed, right? Which again is something he couldn't have done in the past, but now he's become so independent, he can take care of himself in many ways. So you saw there a bit of his gymnastics program. He's learning forward rolls, quad rolls, log rolls. These are all parts of the Doman gymnastics program to help improve his balance. And in reading, he has shown much better reading comprehension. In not just in reading, but his math skills as well have greatly improved. His overall physical stamina and coordination have greatly improved. As I said, now he can make complete meals for himself. I think this is another video of him doing rolls.
Number 6.
Hi guys, this is the forward roll master again.
Good job, Doman. Number 6.
So his progress has really expanded his ability to participate meaningfully in his daily life, right? He's now able to do many more like recreational activities outside of the house, and he's really helping out his family, which we consider to be a very important goal in the Doman program, right? Because many children with neurodevelopmental issues, they're used to everyone in their environment doing everything for them because they have difficulty doing things. But now when we get a child or a young adult like Daniel to the place where he can do things independently, he can start to help out the family. When he does that, not only does he become more independent, but his life becomes more purposeful because he starts to feel like his family needs his help, right? He plays a vital role in the family and he feels that. That's really good for his self-confidence. So really, congratulations to Daniel and to his family. All right, now we have a younger child named Indy. Indy was diagnosed with dystonic cerebral palsy as well as epilepsy. So Indy started the program with a lot of seizures and as well as tuberous sclerosis. So the big achievements for Indy this year, in the last 6 months, Indy started the program 6 months ago, is she started to see detail for the first time in her life. So she started the program functionally blind, and now she is seeing detail. She can see her environment. She can recognize her parents' faces. She can recognize members of her family. That's so, so important. She's even started to read words that were shown to her in her Doman reading program. Of course, before she could start reading, she needed a very strong visual stimulation program to improve her seeing. And she has better mobility. She can crawl better now on inclined and flat surfaces, and she's raising her head independently on the flat floor. And I think I've got there you can see a photo of Indy, and she's on the flat floor and she's picking her head up, which is so, so important, again, for a child with a diagnosis of dystonic cerebral palsy. So Indy has made remarkable progress. She can now see details, as I said. She can even make choices. Like if you show her 2 pictures and you say, Indy, where's the picture of the cat? She'll show you which it is. So her visual attention and processing is better. And she even started to read words, which is amazing. If we look to her crawling, balance, and coordination, her mobility has gotten better. She has better strength, coordination, and motor planning, which she's using to crawl. And I think we might even have a video here of her crawling. So Dad has put her here on the inclined floor. This is one of the first Doman programs for helping a child become mobile. And you can really see Indy here pushing very well with her legs to move herself forward. The inclined floor is so important to help immobile children like Indy move on their own for the first time. I'll show you again, just so you can watch. Watch her as she pulls forward with her left arm. Watch as she alternates her legs. So important that she's using both of her legs to crawl forward. Right? So the inclined floor helps her because it takes the enemy of gravity and makes it into a friend. So now with a slight push, she can move her body forward. So now her cognitive skills, her physical abilities are so much better thanks to the program. And it's really opened up new opportunities, right? When I was speaking to her family, they said it's like having a whole new child because now Indy can see, she's interacting more, and that's just, she's hitting very important developmental milestones. All right, now we have Mose. I think Mose might be the last child that we have for Victory Day. Mose is the youngest child, 3 years of age. Mose has a diagnosis of hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, which is known as HIE, as well as dystonia spasticity, so tightness in the limbs, and cerebral palsy. This 6 months, Mose had his first flight experience. So, parents were very excited that Mose was able to come to see us for his first appointment. Before, Mose was too physiologically delicate to actually get on an airplane and come to see our staff. So our staff went to see him. But now Mose is strong enough and his health is good enough, he could come to see us, which for his family is a huge, huge win. It means his immune system and health is so much stronger than it used to be. And at Doman International, we work with a whole spectrum of children, all the way from today, we saw some children with ADHD, some mild challenges, even though there's no such thing as a mild challenge, but relatively mild, all the way to children who even, basic things like eating, their health, are compromised. Mose this period also started to move his limbs better and also had progress in learning to read. Before the program, Mose faced significant challenges due to spasticity and limited mobility. And his communication and engagement with others was incredibly limited and minimal. And his motor skills were way below his age level. Social interaction and engagement with family were also really limited. Now, like I said, for the first time, Mose was able to get on an airplane because he's strong and healthy enough to do it. So here you can see he got to visit the cockpit of the airplane and meet the pilots, which is pretty special for him. And as you can imagine, not only is that special for Mose, when a family has a child who's now able to travel, it opens up a world of possibilities, right? When a family, sometimes with children with weakened immune systems, they may not even leave the house or be reluctant to bring the child out of the house because they're so worried of the child getting ill. But Mose now is able to travel, which alone is a huge achievement. Mose also has shown better visual attention this period. So his vision has really improved. He's observing his family and environment more. So you can see here, he's kind of checking out the cockpit, interested in what's going on. He has increased curiosity and he loves doing things with his family. He achieved an early reading milestone this period, showing a big progress in cognitive development. So he was able to demonstrate reading some words and also improved comprehension and understanding as well. He's doing some assisted movements with the gravity assisted program, which is a physical program, which is part of the Doman Method, which helps children like Mose learn to move. And I guess we've got a video here of Mose in the gravity assisted environment. So you can see here, the gravity assisted environment allows Mose to feel what it feels like to move, where gravity is not pushing his body down anymore, right? So watch him as he's pulling himself forward here with his arms, right? He did several movements forward. Now he's pushing forward with his leg and he's pulling with his arm. Okay. So a child like Mose, if you just put them down on the flat floor, they might try to move with their arms and legs, but they won't move forward. But with the gravity assisted program, child like Mose can actually start to feel what it feels like to move themselves forward. That's very important, not just to help them in their brain muscle connection with their arms and legs, which does improve, but it's also very important for their confidence to realize, oh, I can move myself forward. It's a huge achievement. Mose's progress reflects his growing cognitive skills, his motor abilities, and his family engagement. His family is very, very dedicated to his progress. And his achievements just demonstrate some incredibly important developmental milestones. So congratulations to Mose and to his family. So that is our Victory Day presentation. As you can see, we reported on results for children all the way from ages 3 to ages 12, which is it's great to see. And you can see we talked about children with varied diagnoses from brain injury to cerebral palsy to epilepsy to autism to ADHD and many others as well. Well, I think we've got about 10 minutes now for questions. So if you're joining us right now on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, you can go ahead and start typing your questions into the comments box. We'll get to them in order. While we're waiting for questions, Colleen, any thoughts that you had on Victory Day?
Oh, I love Victory Day. it's my favorite thing. I think it really is incredible to realize that, yes, of course, all of these families have had the guidance of the staff, which is great, but they all started in the same place in terms of reading the book, hearing about what we were doing, and everything that they've done has been done at home. The staff are not there working with these kids. And I think that's important for parents who are considering the Doman Method to recognize, yeah, we are going to support you every step of the way, but you can be empowered to be the people doing this, and getting these kinds of results much better than trying to run to the therapist 3 or 4 times a week, or even doing the intensives and things. I've had a couple of families say, yeah, we were left, we did a week of this intensive thing, and then after that, we had no instructions really to go forward. So, and that's no way to see real progress. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, and I guess because some of the children we reported on have been doing the program for 6 months. So you probably remember talking to the family 6 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting for me too. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Virginia says, wow, congratulations to the Doman caregivers and to the children. Motika says, so inspiring. God bless you all for the wonderful work. I'm so inspired to never give up on my child. Great. That's the whole purpose of Victory Day. That's what we hope everyone gains from it. Let's see. All right. So yeah, whether you're joining us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, go ahead and type your questions in the box and we will get to them in order. We've got maybe 7 minutes or so to answer questions.
Do you see the question from YouTube? There we go.
Yeah. So Huyo, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, is asking, how can I teach my kids to read English if English is not my first language? So one of the things that sometimes surprises parents is that teaching a child to read a language is actually the easiest thing. Teaching them to understand and speak a language requires a bit more time and effort. So the number one thing I'd recommend to you, if English is not your first language, would be to speak to your child in English whenever you can. So, and sometimes parents will say to me, "Oh, but I don't speak the language well. I have an accent. My pronunciation isn't good." And even if that's the case, your child will greatly benefit from hearing the language spoken. So even if you have 50% English, speak it with your child, because that will be greatly useful for your child to hear the language in their environment. And also what you can do is you can also ask anyone else in your child's environment who speaks the language to also to speak it with them. That's number one. Number two, you can do things like you could read books to your child. You could show movies to your child in that language, or let them listen to songs in that language. It's a great way for them to hear native speakers, because parents will sometimes say, "But I don't want my child to adopt my poor pronunciation, right? Or my accent." But that won't happen if your child can hear native speakers in the language. So by playing videos, like playing movies with English in the background, or listening to songs in English, your child will get to hear native speakers. Now, the teaching your child to read is, as I said, it's one of the easier parts of the program. I'm not sure if you're aware of the Doman reading program, but it's a major part of our program. For parents of children with special needs, if you read the book, The Doman Method from Special Needs to Wellness, which is a book I wrote with my dad, Douglas, there's a whole chapter on how to start a reading program with your child with special needs. So I would definitely recommend that book for you, because if your child is hearing the language spoken in the environment and hearing English spoken in movies and songs, then showing your child written words is actually a relatively simple additional thing for you to do with your kid. So so actually the interesting thing is, once a child reads in one language, learning to read in a second language is actually pretty easy. It's more about the more important thing, along with teaching reading, is to make sure your child understands it. Colleen, anything you want to add to that?
No, I don't. Well, you could also, obviously teach your kids to read in your native language as well, so it's a good idea, as Spencer said, even if your native language is not written in the Roman alphabet, that really, it's all growing the brain. So it's very important. But yeah, they're actually, our Spanish language representative, Marialba, has been visiting here from Venezuela, and she was telling me that one of the ways, because her English is really excellent. Now she still says, "Oh, it's not so great." Like, no, it really is great. And she said that she grew up seeing a lot of American television shows and things like that. So yeah, hearing the native accent or the native language just really clicked for her. And and she didn't even have a Doman Method program, so you can follow it up with reading and make it that much stronger. So yeah, don't be afraid.
All right, we've got a question here on Instagram from the Glams Kern. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Or maybe it's the Glam Skin RN. But the question here is, I just got the book but have no time to read it. Does it come in Audible form? Yes. So if you go to Amazon.com, the Doman Method book is available as an audiobook. Absolutely. We did it exactly for that reason, because we know sometimes it's tough for parents to read the book. So yeah, just go to the Doman Method from Special Needs to Wellness on Amazon. You'll see an Audible audiobook available there. And there's a follow-up question here. Have you worked with kids with rare neurodevelopmental disorders with brain anomalies with success? Absolutely. I'm not sure if I think you wrote that you just got on to the webinar, but I just went through something that we call Victory Day, where I reported on the results of 6 children on our program, and they have some incredibly rare diagnoses. Some of them are more common, like autism spectrum disorder or cerebral palsy, but some of them have some very rare diagnoses as well. So yeah, we've worked with hundreds of different diagnoses at this point. We've seen over the last 70 years just about every diagnosis that exists. Yeah, so absolutely, we've had a lot of success. Colleen, I think this parent is relatively new. Could you just share your contact information if they want to set up a call with you?
Definitely, yes. So my email address is info, at domaninternational.org. My phone number and WhatsApp number is country code 1-814-232-8668. So yeah, please email me or message me, and then we can go from there. You know, there's never any obligation, but I've got a lot of information I can share with you.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Colleen. I'm just sharing. I'll throw up on the screen. There's Colleen's phone number, and I'll put up the email in just a second. All right, we've got a question here from Haley. So Haley came for an appointment about a month ago, I believe. And Haley says, just adding, this is my first time being able to catch this since the start of our program. Progress is happening all over the place. Little things like he's allowing his hands to be dirty. Really cool to see. That's great, Haley. Yeah, especially for, for parents who don't know this, there's some children who are quite hypersensitive to different touch or sensations. So they hate it when their hands are dirty or sticky, and they'll kind of obsess over it and need their hands washed many times in a day. So the fact that that he's becoming kind of cool and relaxed, like other boys who get dirty and don't ever think about it, that's really, really great, Haley. That's wonderful. Thanks for joining. And I'm glad you keep joining, because sometimes parents, after they come for the appointment, I think they dial in so much to their program that they learned at the appointment. Sometimes they don't keep coming to these sessions, but there's a lot to be discussed even after the appointment. So it's great to have you. Okay, Virginia is saying, we are continuing with the course well. In the developmental profile, once you draw the blue line, doesn't mean the child can't progress upwards on the other stages. Oh, no, Virginia, exactly the opposite. Just for everyone who's watching who doesn't know much about the developmental profile, it's the tool that we use at Doman International for measuring where a child is in their development compared to their age level peers. So for example, if a child comes to us, we know what are all the major at different ages. So we evaluate children when they come to us to see, okay, have they hit those milestones? Where are they in comparison to their peers? So Virginia is asking, okay, once we've done that first evaluation with the child, can the child not move up? And the whole goal of the program, Virginia, is to get the child to move up the profile. That's the biggest goal. So the blue line is just the starting point of where the program starts. But then the next time we evaluate a child, we will put a new line for where they are. So just to give you one example, I'm in our clinic here in Philadelphia right now. And right before this session, a staff member came in to talk to me because a family that was here 6 months ago has just come back for the second appointment. And this child, in 5 of the 6 areas of the profile, moved up to the next level. Okay, so 5 of the 6 areas, it means in manual development, he achieved the next milestone, in vision and hearing and tactility, in mobility. So that's the whole goal of the program, is to get children to move up on the profile.
Soon to be featured on Victory Day.
That's right. Yeah. Next month's Victory Day. I will throw up Colleen's email address.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, and the mom on Instagram is saying, my daughter has a very rare condition, only 30 reported worldwide. Thank you very much. Yeah, I tell this story probably once every 6 months or so. So for parents who have heard it already, forgive me. But I like to tell this story because I think it's emblematic of children with rare conditions. So there was a boy named Diego on our program. He started the program when he was 2 and was on our program for 18 months and had amazing progress. And when he came onto our program, parents had just been told that Diego was developmentally delayed. And that was obvious. He couldn't talk. He couldn't walk. It was obvious at 2 years of age, he was way behind. but that's all parents knew. And he did great on the program. He started walking, he started running, he started talking. And at 4, they were just recommended by their doctor to get genetic testing, which they had never done before. So they got genetic testing, and the geneticist called them in to the office, but the geneticist had only seen the results of the test. He had never seen the child before. So the geneticist said, I'm very sorry to tell you that Diego has a rare chromosomal disorder. There are only 50 known cases around the world. I'm very sorry to tell you, based on the experience of the other children with this diagnosis, Diego will probably never walk or talk. And the parents said, we wish we had brought Diego because he runs 2 kilometers a day and he speaks in sentences. And the geneticist was like shocked, but the geneticist was, first of all, just dealing with the limited information that was available, and then made an assumption that any child with that diagnosis would never do better than the population at wide. And actually, one of the big issues for children with rare diagnoses is exactly that. Like parents are often given a ceiling to the child's development, when actually very little is known about the potential of the children. So what we found is that actually these children are often capable of amazing things, and often children on our program way outperform other children with those same diagnoses who are just not given a lot of stimulation or opportunity for growth. And the other thing that we do differently is that even though a child might have a genetic or a metabolic diagnosis, because we are a brain-focused approach, the brain's ability to change, which is called neuroplasticity, it exists in all people, right? The brain is able to change. The genetics may not be able to change, but the brain can. And brain development is impacted by a genetic diagnosis, but it's not completely limited by it. So when we do stimulation with these children, they often have really phenomenal results. So I highly recommend you set up a call with Colleen. As she said, it's free. You don't have to do anything. Just jump on a call with Colleen and hear more about the program. Great. Well, listen, everyone, we are all out of time, but it's great to see everyone's comments and questions. If you joined late, go back and watch the success stories that we went over. And again, those were children. Some of these children have only been on the Doman Method 6 months, but I think it's worthwhile for all of you to see what some families achieve in just that a limited amount of time. All right, Colleen, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you. All
All
right.
right, everyone. We'll be back next week.